Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we'll be talking about Troy University Student Government Association and their plans for this school year. My guest today, President of the SGA, Heath Barton. Heath, thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
And the start of your year as president here as the SGA, and obviously I know you've got a lot of big plans for what you've got in store for the student government and the student body here at Troy. Tell us a little about your expectations, your plans for the year.
My plan for this year is definitely kind of to continue from my plans last year, to make sure that every single student is involved on our campus. Involvement on campus is one of the best ways to make sure that your Troy experience is awesome. Another one of the plans we have is just some of the changes that are happening to our university, expanding upon those changes and doing all that we can to make sure that they're good.
And now, with that involvement, I know the SGA has gotten on board with something new, some new technology to kind of incorporate more student involvement and using technology to help kind of bring those together through the Trojan Connection and a new app for phones. Tell us about how that's going to kind of help incorporate and get people involved with student government and other organizations. So.
Okay, well, the app is called Cork. It's a free app that's located on any type of store for certain phones. What it is the Cork app is just the utilization of the app, and then in the Cork app you can sign in with Troy University, and that's our Trojan Connection that we have, which is going to be replacing Trojan Today. As you may remember, Trojan Today was a way for students to realize and recognize what all is going to be happening on our campus for the certain week at hand. For this Trojan Connection app, what we're able to do through that is essentially take all the events that are happening throughout the entire semester, put them on there, and use that. Organizations are also going to be required to register on this new app for Cork. Through this app, students will be able to get on, look at all the organizations that Troy University has, and then potentially, if they like, join that organization.
And so gives a chance to students to have connections to groups and schedule events right there in the palm of their hands. So.
Exactly.
And so obviously that's going to help guide you towards those goals of getting more students involved. But for the student government itself, not just the university as a whole, but the student government, what are some of your goals and your plans for student government, specifically, the officers in the Senate this year?
Well, each officer had a platform that they ran off of. And one of the things that I started off actually beginning of summer was having each of our executive officers list a list of goals that they would want to accomplish throughout the year. And most recently, we had a meeting Monday night with our executive officers. And one of the neatest things was to go through those and see that each officer was able to check off certain goals that they wanted to plan and have accomplished already. And we just started school. So that was definitely something awesome. For myself, one of the biggest things is kind of my platform that I ran off of, being able to hold our administration accountable. We want to make sure that a connection between our students and our faculty and staff, as well as administration, is strong this year. That relationship is one of the best ways to make sure that our students' voices are heard. One of the other ways is to show a pride for Troy. That's one of my biggest accomplishments this year is making sure that every single student has a passion, has a drive for our university, and cares about our university just as much as the rest of our executive council does. And then our last one is to kind of essentially just show our love for Troy. We want to make sure that our students take part in anything that they can throughout the year, whether it be homecoming, whether it be certain initiatives that the SGA is going to be putting on, or as we mentioned earlier, getting involved in any of the organizations that we have.
And now the SGA is also this semester doing something new to encourage, I guess, more involvement in meetings. You've got a new location, a bigger space in Hawkins Hall, the auditorium there. And obviously, that move, part of that, I would assume, is a bigger space to get more students there. So
yes, definitely. That's one of the biggest things that we hope is that students will start coming to our SGA meetings, which is on Tuesday nights at 6:30 in Hawkins Hall. Students can come, share their voice, come and let us as senators and as executive officers know their concerns and let them know that we're working on everything that we can with any issue that they see.
And that contributes to that accountability mission that you have there, because if students can come to those meetings and have their voices heard by the SGA, you can help contribute to getting those voices heard by the administration there.
Definitely. We're a university of students. One of the biggest things that Troy prides itself on is our connection that we can have between our professors and us as students. And so with that, being able to hear it straight from a student's mouth, take that and take it into administration and have action. We don't want anyone to come in and just be word of mouth, and we have word of mouth as well. We want to make sure that we take those words and we turn them into actions.
Well, cool. And if anybody out there can't make it to the meetings but still wants to get in touch with someone in the SGA, your office is always available as well. Tell us how they can find you in your office.
Okay, well, we're located in TC 215,
Okay.
which is that second floor of the Trojan Center. All of our executive officers have required office hours. And majority of the time, if one's not in there, another one is, and they're all willing to make sure that they hear any of your concerns or any issues that you see on our campus.
All right, well, Heath, good luck with this school year, and hopefully you'll meet some of those goals that you and the rest of the executive officers have for this year. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.